Hi, very good morning to you. It's Gene from Maverickstar Observatory. Some important facts to go over in this video for you. But before we do, a huge thanks to those few, and it does deserve a little shout out, when people step up to the line and chip in a few bucks for the observatory. So, I'll just quickly say big thank you to Derek, Judy, Troy, Rob, Casey, David, Jonah, and Simon, and Eric. You know what, guys, I do really appreciate your little bit of support that you give us over the last few days, but I want to say this: look at the numbers that viewed the video. We're in the thousands, and yet you can count the people on your both hands who will help you. Okay, let's get into this video. Let me tell you now, right, that everything we discuss on this channel is really happening. Let me just say that once more. What we talk about on this channel really is happening. We provide a lot of facts as to what is going on with our Earth. You should all be concerned about that because we all live on it, don't we? It's very easy to take it for granted. I mean, half the people in the world don't even notice the sun coming up in the daytime. Can you believe that? They are oblivious to the fact that on the night time there is a moon. And that's because largely they have too many things in their own life to worry about, like paying the bills of the household, making sure that there's food on the table for the kids to eat. But you know what, if we take these things for granted, don't be surprised if at some point they come along and bite us in the ass. What we're looking at here is the chart of previous magnetic reversals. That big black band at the top represents 780,000 years of when the Earth went and completed its last geomagnetic reversal. Take a look at it. It's longer than any other period in our history on this planet that we've recorded, at least. Now, these are taken from mid-Atlantic ridge zones, and we know that there's been reversals because of the amount of time that the lava has been flowing, so that we can trace it back by the rate at which it flows. We can trace it back to the last reversal, and the reversal before that, and the reversal before that. This is facts. Our Earth has before gone through many magnetic reversals, and right now we're probably entering the longest time it has ever taken for this Earth to go through a reversal, and it is here today going through a reversal. This is a fact that can be verified very easily if you do a little bit of research. The mainstream organisations, NASA, the European Space Agency, NOAA, all the others, they know what's going on with our planet. They know it's going through a reversal. They also know the implications that we will face when it goes into those weak field lines where it migrates much faster. If the truth was known and admitted, they would come clean and say that, what is taking place on our Earth is not just down to a magnetic reversal, not just down to climate change as a result of the magnetic reversal, but also other influences which you would damn expect to play a role in changing the climate on our Earth. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the grand solar minimum. Right now, we're probably seeing 4 to 6 spots on the sun's disk. That's a good thing because that will keep our heliosphere expanded. And it will, for the short time that it will last, and it will only last a short time, it will push out some of that cosmic rays, which is a good thing. But with a weakening magnetosphere, our primary defensive shield against cosmic rays, weakening as a result of it going through a reversal, our Earth, we are going to see more inbound cosmic rays in the upper atmosphere. And as a result of that, we are going to be looking at modified jet streams. And it has a knock-on effect which will affect us all, because there's not a lot of talk about it at the moment, but there's going to be at some point in the near future. They're going to be talking about the fact that the world cannot produce enough food to feed the 8 billion souls that are here right now. And this is ratcheting up as we sit here today and you guys listen to me tell you about this, because this is a fact you can check. We talk about a lot of facts on this channel, backed up with evidence. There is no need to create scenarios that aren't true. There is already enough in the mix to cause catastrophe on a global scale. Trust me. The only reason why at this point in time you might be sitting there unaffected by any of these things that are taking place is just sheer luck. Absolute sheer luck. Because none of us are truly aware of the dangers of which we face right now. You know, those people last year, just a few months ago, was unaware of the heavy rains was going to lead to floods, and then within hours wash completely away their homes. And this was not in a third world country, this was in a European country. Some people wasn't even insured for it. They lost everything. Their life's savings, their home that they'd worked all their life for, every stitch of clothing they owned, everything, furniture, the lot, gone within hours. And like I say, it is just a matter of time before something comes along to even our front door and knocks on it. This is where our jet streams should be. 30 degrees north, 60 degrees north. At 30 degrees we have the subtropical jet streams, at 60 we have the polar jet streams. And likewise in the southern hemisphere this is not the case. And I'll show you, and I'll prove it to you right now. We'll go straight over to North Skull live and you can see what's going on with our jet streams. This is what your jet streams look like today. No distinction between the polar or subtropical. We have subtropical and polar jet streams mixing together, which is delivering hot and cold winds with moisture, and of course you know what the outcome of that will be. If I just quickly look over the northern and southern hemispheres so you can look down on what is actually going on, you'll get a clearer picture. We don't just have, you know, over the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere of the polar and subtropical jet streams mixing. We have interchange with over the equatorial region with jet streams. So we've got interchange like we're looking at right now. Yeah, this is subtropical jet streams mixing over the equatorial region. This is unheard of. You know, if you're into meteorology, you will know what I'm talking about. This is a disaster. Our Earth's jet streams have completely broken down, and they will get worse than this, you know. And when you think about, you know, crop production, how is crop production going to sustain feeding 8 billion people on this planet? I will tell you this, you know, the weakest will find the you know, the blunt of this instrument more than anybody else first, because they are the poorest. And we're already starting to see what's going on in Afghanistan. You know, if you have 3 kids, you are very likely going to sell one of them, and that is what's going on, so that you can put a little bit of food on your table to manage through the winter. Can you believe we live in a day and age where children are being sold for a bit of food? Well, trust me, it's taking place. And you know, we think we're immune to it in the Western worlds, you know, in these first countries, in the richest countries in the world, but we're not. We have residents who can't even afford to eat. They can't heat their homes. They can't even put food on the table themselves. This is something we are going to start to see an increase in. Over here in the UK, we have people that have got good jobs, but they're still going to food banks and relying on them. Tell me something. What has gone so horribly wrong with our system that even if you work 2 jobs, you still cannot put food on your table? Tell me something isn't wrong with that system and needs to change. Because that's where we are right now. People cannot afford food. People cannot afford to heat their homes, and people can't afford to buy or rent. How has it all gone so terribly wrong? Tell me that. In such a short space of time. What is gearing up is something really ugly. I'm telling you, people. You know, you need to start preparing. If you've got no preps at this moment, then this should be a wake-up call for you. You need some food provisions, at least for a couple of months, to get you out of trouble. The closer we get to zero on the right hand side of this chart is the present day. Now, you don't need to be a scientist to work out what's going on here, because there's a pattern. It goes back 450,000 years. You know what's coming next. You don't need me to tell you anymore what's coming next. I'll tell you now, we're probably 6,000 to 8,000 years already back into a glacial period. And this Earth is going to start to cool down. CO2 is falling. Your mainstream media aren't talking about it. Why is that? CO2 is generating trillions of pounds for the elite class. 0.4% of any trace gas in our atmosphere will have zero effect. Do you understand? This carbon net zero is a scam to make money, nothing else. And you guys are returning gradually back into a glacial period. And those, ladies and gentlemen, last 90,000 years. Only 12,000 years ago, between 12 and 15,000 years, did we come out the last glacial period. There was very few human beings on our planet at that point in time. There is a colossal, a massive catastrophe approaching us. Do you understand that? We are not going to be able to, like some people think, we are not going to be able to feed 8 billion people with 2/3 of the world being covered in ice. Let that sink in. I know for a lot of you, it's important for you to go to work today. It's important for you to earn some money so that you can put some food on your table today. But I don't think it's going to be the case in the future. Even if you've got a wheelbarrow full of money, you're not going to be able to buy a loaf of bread. Because money is going to lose its ability to deliver the promise which is put on that note. I promise to pay the bearer the sum of this note. It's not going to be the case. Because food will be worth more than gold. We're not far away from it, you know that, don't you? All this is going to collapse like a deck of cards at a very short space of time. We don't have a lot of time left, because once it is no longer able to cover up the stories of what they're saying, once they no longer have the attention of the public because we know that they're telling us lies, it's over for them. What we are approaching in the not too distant future is the darkest moments ever humans have ever experienced in this world. Do you understand that? You know, all these charts are not bogus. They're not made up. This is facts, scientific facts. You know, our Earth is returning back into a glacial period. You cannot deny that. Look at the chart. Do some research yourself. You know, we are returning. We are at a point in time where our Earth is going through a magnetic reversal. We are at a point in time where our sun is in a low output mode. It couldn't be any worse. We are at a time where the agricultural land on our earth is reducing daily. You know, we're at a time where people are being displaced through the climatic events that are taking place by the millions. None of this is to be taken lightly. You know, I implore you to do something today to help yourself and your loved ones. Even if it's just a bag of pasta, put it up for the rainy day, because it's coming. You need to do more. And if you haven't got the backbone to help to help yourself, then try and help somebody who has got the balls to do it. You know, we're trying to inform as many people as we can, but we're not doing a very good job. You know, 90% of this world is completely unaware to the things that we've discussed in this video. Can you believe that? The world's governments have done such a good job of pacifying these people that they believe it's global warming. Can you believe that? When just look at this. Just look at this, guys. In 2022, we saw a 10-year record broke on sea ice extent over the Northern Hemisphere in the Arctic Sea. This was the equivalent of nearly 3 million square kilometres. This is an area that covers the whole of Europe, including England and Ireland. It's a massive expanse of ice rebounded, and it's broke 10-year record. On top of this, we have a reduction in CO2. Think about it. Glaciers rebounding, CO2 falling. You know, the chart I showed you earlier, with us returning back into a glacial period, it's starting to look like it's the case, isn't it? And in any case, it's overdue already. When they say global warming, it's 180 degrees from the truth. It's global cooling. And our Earth is gradually and slowly shutting down its agricultural productive land. Just like some of the politicians we've heard recently come out with and say, Armageddon. So these things were described in the Bible, isn't it? End times. The rapture. Could go on. We're heading into some real dark times, I kid you not. Guys, think about what I've said. Everything I explain in this video is facts and the truth. And the evidence has been presented before you. This isn't a case of whether it's going to. It's a case that it is already happening right now. And just because you haven't felt the effects of some of these anomalies that have caught out other people, is just sheer luck. How long can your luck last out? How long can you avoid being caught up in one of these catastrophes? I believe we've already saved lives on this channel. I believe we've already saved people's wealth, the things that they've worked for, you know, and protected their loved ones with the information that we've given out already to date. I believe that we've done that. And if you're interested in helping me possibly save other people's lives and bringing this awareness to them, then there's a link down there in the description. It's not mandatory, it's not compulsory, it's completely voluntary. You know, you do it on your own back if you want to. It's up to you. We don't charge for a thing on this website or on this YouTube channel. We only ask that people stand by our side and support us now and then with a few quid. And that's what that link's down there for. It is not a subscription fee. We don't charge subscription fees. We have no adverts running. You know, we're not selling you know, cosmetics or pharmaceutical products, or, you know, even bug out equipment. We're not selling none of it. We're not interested in making ourselves waxed rich here. We are interested in getting the information out to people. That's purely and solely what the purpose of this observatory is, to inform people of something the mainstream media and organisations are not. When clearly, you know, everybody has a right to the information. Every single person. Nobody should be barred from that information. And everybody should be informed about what really is going on in our world. There's a link down there if you want to help support. I'll say what I usually do. You take care of your loved ones, as always. Bye for now.